that was partly Russ Mobby and partly me. Russ had a philosophy that if you had too many rules, then people began to put their energy into finding ways to evade the rules. So he liked, as a general philosophy, a fairly simple, fairly loose organization. I took that much further, and I just think that the strategic planning is the biggest fraud ever foisted on us, because it essentially says you can predict the future and control it. And if we know there are two things humans can't do, it's one is predict the future and two, control it. So we deliberately went out there with a very vague kind of thing, and it drove some people absolutely crazy, particularly the accounting department at the Kellogg Foundation, where I believe to this day there is a shoot on sight poster with my face on it, because you just never knew what was going to happen. People would say, try to come up with all sorts of bizarre things to serve as match. We were thinking match would be dollars. And, Kathy would call with these questions like, well, one of the community foundations wants to use pelts as match. Pelts? You mean like fur pelts? Yes, they want to use fur pelts as match. How do you value fur pelts? But we tried to err on the side of flexibility, of letting people do what they needed to do to raise the money, because in the end, we wanted them to succeed, not to fail. The greatest story on that came from Allegan one day. The Allegan Community Foundation was 25 years old. It had an initial gift of $25,000 from a woman in Allegan who was very public-spirited. And what they had done was to spend all of the income from that $25,000 each year. So at the end of 25 years, it still had $25,000. And we got a phone call one day from Mike Jandernoa, who was the CEO of Perigo at that time. And he said, I understand that Kellogg has this challenge out, $1 million, up to $1 million for $2 million raised locally. And he said, we'd like to collect on that. And I said, well, great, not a problem. All you have to do is organize local fundraising drives and come up with that $2 million, and we'll let you do it in steps. You can do 100,000 first, that you have to match with 200,000 so that you can prove that you can do it, and then you can have another campaign and another campaign. And there's a silence after I explain it. He says, well, no, I want the $2 million. And I said, well, gosh, I thought I explained to you, you needed to raise that money. And he said, oh, is that it? He said, well, we've got the money. That Perigo had gone public, and Mike had taken $1 million of the money he got from that sale, and his chairman of the board had done the same. They put it together, and they raised the $2 million over lunch. So Allegan went from, now needless to say, I was not budgeting for $1 million for Allegan that day. And that's yet another reason why the accountants are crazy about me. But, we had to meet our obligations, and we did it. So Allegan went from $25,000 endowment for 25 years to $3,025,000 in one day.